Hello and welcome back to the Project Hercules Diaries, where we are still messing around with the starter motor. So a little drawing here of something I've had to make with a bit of help from Mr. Bob is this carrier here. So there's a one-way clutch bearing inside here retained by a circlip, and that goes onto the end of the shaft of the starter motor. So there's the starter motor shaft. One-way clutch bearing goes onto there inside this carrier, and then the carrier holds a sprocket. Now it's a bossed sprocket which is a little bit taller than it will be, so the sprocket will actually be in the centre. I've just got to turn off a bit of that, and the sprocket's retained onto the carrier by a keyway. You can see in the drawing here that we've got a woodruff key in the end of the shaft. So I've got another one of these on order because they also get made with an internal keyway and an external keyway, and that will help manage the torque. And you can see that in operation because if I push that onto the end of the shaft there, when I turn it like that, you can see how it turns in one direction and it freewheels in the other direction. So when the motor starts and overtakes the starter motor, it doesn't continue to spin the starter motor at crazy RPM. There's a lot of work in that. If you haven't picked it up already, the bearing for this tiny little shaft here is about there where my finger is. That's quite a bit of overhang, even if the sprocket ends up there. So I will probably put a bearing around this piece here with a little bearing carrier that's just on a couple of posts off the plate. And the plate I'm going to have to make is to allow me to fit this in the place of the dyno start, and because this is extended longer than on the dyno start, it needs to be set further off to the right hand side of the bike to align the chain. I'll show you that just now. So for chain alignment purposes, I won't be able to mount that on there like I did with the dyno start because that is too far out towards the left hand side of the bike. I'm going to have to mount it just inboard, just like that, not like that, like that. Tommy Cooper there. Which means I'm going to make a plate, quite a thick aluminium plate that this bolts into with a big hole in the centre, and then I can use the plate to mount it to the engine. And that is what the noise that you can probably hear in the background is. It is my little helper, the real brains behind the outfit. Hello, yes, give us a wave. Who is just boring out this hole here in the plate to accommodate the starter motor. So carry on, don't worry about brushing it. I think it's all right there. So yes, while I've been doing that, the real brains of the outfit has been operating the Bridgeport just to bore out that hole, and I would say pretty good job she's doing too. So that's the latest update from Project Hercules. As usual, thank you for watching. That starter motor will be on before long, I promise, and as usual, thanks for watching. More updates will follow.